Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy, chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was on your mama.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism,
Sexism,
much love to my loyal bag holders,
rollers, loaders.
we got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, shit. Feel like I just woke up even though I've been up. We're in Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, we're in Austin.
For the second time since...
I had to turn you down a little bit because you were peaking.
Yeah, for the second time since the first time we were here when this was the scene of the crime, when the allegations broke out. And my headspace was in a very, it was weird. It was in a very nerve-wracking place. But the for some reason, the events of what we did, from going to downtown and doing, some cave? What's it called?
Creek in the Cave.
Creek in the Cave, and just being in Austin for the first time, and that downtown area that was really bustling. The night scene was great. The comedy scene was great. It was therapeutic, while at the same time my nerves were uptight.
Yeah.
So now we're here without all that.
Yeah, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. We came in a day early, like we said we were going to. We ran around downtown. We checked out all the clubs, not all of them, but a lot of them, because there's a lot of clubs here, and had a fairly good experience.
Yeah.
You want to add to that?
I mean, I like Austin, man. It's official. Like I said, I'm able to enjoy it the way I did that time, but without all the. So it's cool, man. I like this. I'm gonna put this in the books as one of the places. Yeah, one of the places to be.
Well, Cap City is actually a really cool club. It's owned by Helium, and it's they did a nice job. It's not in the heart of the downtown though. It's way north.
Yeah.
And so we're a little out of it during the week, but we came down, we went down, and we participated. But I checked out this little room that I've heard so much about, because I guess it's the oldest comedy club in Austin after the original Cap closed. Mm-hmm. And it's the Velveeta room, and it holds like 50 people. It's the coolest little room, man. I want to do that room so bad. It is such.
You didn't do it?
No, it was all the shows were over by the time I got there, and
that was the night I was supposed to go, right?
That was the night if you would have came down. I did a Red Band show. Thank you very much, Red Band, and Ali Musa for getting me on that show, and Red Band for putting me up on the show. That was the Sunset Strip show.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That room, big room, huge room, pretty packed. It was fun. It was fun getting to go perform down there. I wish I would have had a better set, but it was all right. Had a great time though. Austin has been a great time. I can't complain about any of the crowds that have come out every night. When I look out, we do a little thing. Of course we look at the room. Of course we're human. Of course we're judgy. We look out there and try to figure it out. And there was a couple times when I said, I don't know if this is going to be a good one. And then it's always exceeded expectations.
They've all been consistently good.
Every one of them. And their comedy, funny. Their way to ingest comedy out here is pretty amazing. And even when you say things that knock them off a little bit, where you can get them back pretty easily. They're like, okay, I'm not mad at you for that. Even if I didn't like it, even if that doesn't go with my particular beliefs. All right, what else you got? I like it. I like comedy.
Well, that was until last night. One of the managers, as we all hung out, told us that 2 white women wanted refunds because they didn't appreciate my homophobic slander.
Which it wasn't homophobic, number one. And number two is you can't make everybody happy. People come in with their own. Like Patrice said, I don't know what's gone in your life. I can't make you happy. That's up to you.
Yeah. Only thing I have before we dive into the meat and potatoes is, Jerry West died.
Yeah.
I know we went through this before, but that saying everything happens in threes, and of which, of course, I loved when you went. Yeah, it also happens in tens.
Yeah.
But just kind of, I don't know, freaky that it's like Bill Walton and now somebody else in the NBA family. So
One more. If Larry Bird goes, there's no white.
There's no American pure white men left.
Yeah, there's
it's
no
all
great white
Europeans.
boys, yeah.
It's all Akacic or Vavita. There ain't no more regular white men left. No more American cheese slices. Yeah, the logo, man, the legend, right?
Yeah, the logo. You know what I'm really happy about? I mean, there's always talk about changing that logo. I'm glad it was his logo all the way to his life. If they changed it now, I'm not gonna. What am I gonna do? Be mad? Like I have.
They changed it now,
yeah, if they changed it now, I mean, because there's always talk about updating that logo.
Well, they always said if it were to be somebody else,
it was going to be
Jordan,
right? So like, and I was always, that was him, and that I wanted that to stay that way. But now I'm glad that he passed and it never got changed. I'm glad that when he left, he was still the logo. Not saying that it will change, but if it did, it wouldn't have that same. I wouldn't be concerned with it in the same way.
I'm gonna give you a clue, and then you tell me who the basketball player is based on the logo. Ready?
Yeah.
The logo is just a big giant with 100 women around it.
Oh, Will Chamberlain?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even see Will. It's just
it's just a,
and you might see like some body, but the shoulders and the head are all gone. It's
just a big huge and with 100 women surrounded.
Just like hands reaching up and all the little bodies trying to grab his head.
Okay.
But no, wait. You got this a little bit more though.
On that?
No, on NBA though. We can't leave NBA without the announcement. The announcement.
Oh,
the announcement
broke my heart, man. Charles Barkley officially said next year is his last year on TNT. He said, I would never be with another family, NBC, anybody. He said, I've been with TNT for 25 years. They're going to always be my one and only family. But even if they decided to keep the Inside the NBA on TNT, next year's it for him. He said he's ready to pass the baton. He said whether it's Jamal Crawford or Vince Carter, it's time for somebody else to take that seat. I'm done. I'm not even gonna play with that. I'm done. And even if you have Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny, you gotta, it's like Guns N' Roses without, what's his name? Axel, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Axel Foley. Is it Alex or Axel?
Axel.
Axel. What's his name?
Isn't it? What we got someone else in the room. We got Mark. It's
Axl Rose.
There it is.
There.
See.
Yeah, it's like Guns N' Roses without Axel, man. You can't. That is a key element to that band. And as entertaining as Shaq is, as funny at times as Kenny can be, and Ernie just he's the captain of the ship. Yo, Barkley, man, the way him and Shaq play off of each other. And like I said, I don't know if it just happened to be this way or it was done on purpose, but even the seating, when you look at it on TV.
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah, you got Shaq on the far left, you got Shaq on the east, Charles on the west, totally opposite ends. If you were to sit Barkley and Shaq together, that's with the dynamic. Because the dynamic that's created from east to west is these are the two kids in school that got to be separated. Because if they sit next to each other in class, it's anarchy all class. And even with the separation, the way those two back and forth, it's like watching two immature children.
It's the dining room scene.
It's fucking awesome.
It's sitting at the dining table where they had to separate the kids.
Yeah.
But see, I didn't like your analogy because...
Which one? That one?
No, the Axl Rose in Guns N' Roses, because I don't like Axl Rose. So I wouldn't care if I ever saw him again.
I'm going to quote Patrice. Yeah. I don't care what your problem is.
But I like all of those guys on there. But I think that I would watch it.
Take any major band and take away.
I know, I'm just with your analogy. I think they have to have guest hosts for at least a year if they bring it back. At least a year. Because you got to get used to the fact that he's not sitting there. That's the anchor of it.
Let me tell you something, Andy. When they have a guest host, because one of them takes a break or has a family, whatever.
It's not as good.
I don't even watch it. As soon as I record it and I go to watch it, and I be sometimes like, man, I got my food. I'm looking forward to this. I'm ready to call it a night and just be in the bed and eat and watch these guys. And I'm not knowing until I see it. And I go, oh, Shaq ain't there. Chuck ain't there. Man, this.
Yeah, but
I won't even watch.
But if they bring it back, which I know you're not going to watch, but
I'm done.
They need to have guest hosts for a while. You got to get used to the fact that he's not. Chuck Barkley, I mean, he.
If Chuck go, I go.
That's fine. it'll still go on.
It'll go on, but it ain't gonna be the same.
No, but it'll be different to someone else. It'll
It's
be
gonna
what they see.
suck.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Charles on there. But I give it up to him because he's ready to be done and have a good life and not be right there always in the middle.
I understand. I get it, but
I would love to retire.
When it comes to what pleasures me, I'm just so selfish. Like, Chuck, you don't go till I say you go.
Yeah.
All those moments, I want to sit on the monster. When a guy is banging you, I got the bracelet in the steam room. All them big old women in San Antonio, they be eating them churros like this. And Chuck is going, how they do it, Chuck? And they be double fisting them things, man. Oh my God, so many moments.
Yeah, it's great, but it'll live. If it lives, it will live on. There'll be something to somebody else. One last thing before we get into
Bad Boys.
Yeah, it's Father's Day.
That's right.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You're going to get this afterwards. It's belated, but we don't always come out on the day that we need to say it. But happy belated Father's Day to all you fathers that are watching. My one son, True, got me early this morning, and my other son is on a camping trip doing some real white things. He's fishing.
Well, eating trail mix.
He's eating trail mix. Yeah. Probably I guarantee you no washcloths. And he's out there in the woods.
Damn, what are you wiping his ass with? Leaves?
Leaves.
Oh. Holy So we went and saw the fourth Bad Boys. And you said something to me as we left the theater about at first you didn't want to.
I really wasn't I was like, a fourth one. Is this going to be worth it? Are they going to just do some cheesy writing to make a fourth one? Four is hard.
The more you go, it gets harder.
And I was so glad that you picked it because I didn't say anything to you. You picked it. I was like, yeah, we need to do it. It's a class, it's a classic pair up. Yeah, so we got to go see it. And I was blown away. How I thought it was really good. Now, did I think it was an Academy Award winning?
None of them are.
It's a man food.
Movie. It's what it is,
and it was done well. I mean, and very little plot, just enough to make everything work, and it worked.
I thought it was very fun, and I thought it was great. Before I really get to dissecting, of the four, where do you put this? From 1 to 4, what's your list?
Okay, this is tough because I really like this one. And,
I did too, man.
And everything was so good because the CGI is good, the explosions are good, the script was minimal, but it was on point. And then there's a relationship issue in this that I was kind of liking that the relationship wasn't. And this was important.
Between Will and Martin?
No, well, Will and Martin's relationship was important, but there was other relationships. But it wasn't that I'm the tough guy, I'm going to save the planet, and the girl is my relationship problem. She isn't a problem in this, but the relationships are really between the guys.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty cool the way that they did it. And it wasn't emotional. It wasn't truly emotional, but it was, it was touch. It wasn't like you went, oh. It was just like, oh, good. It was that kind of. It was man stuff. Like you really. And it was hard for me not to make this one number one. To me, really, it was. But I believe.
So this is number one.
No, I believe you got to stick with the one that brings it to you, the one that introduces it to you. Unless it's so bad, and for whatever reason they decided to make another one because they knew it could be good.
Right.
One
is your one.
Yeah. 4 is 2.
That's my order so far.
And then I think it goes.
For me, 3 is 3.
Yeah.
And then
2 is
last.
4. Yes, 4.
2 was the second one was my least favorite. The third one I liked. And the third one what brought this one home and kind of what you're saying was in terms of the relationships between the dudes. Is of course your action hero is your action hero. And very seldom do you see a dent in the hero. Will was flawed. So flawed in this because of the panic attacks. Of course, Martin going through what he went through with the heart attack. And when you look at 3, remember, Will got shot in that one and was in the hospital. And Martin was, always having this, I don't know if feng shui is the right word, but this realization, this life realization moment that, hey, man, we're getting older, got kids, we need to slow down, think about retiring. And so his character, which was so different from the first one. Because in the first one, let me not try to jump all over the place. But anyway, Will, I like the fact that Will was flawed. He wasn't just this kick-ass, I'm kicking ass and taking names dude. He had a flaw. And you saw him vulnerable. And the way that tied into what Martin was going through, it made him seem so human. And this just wasn't about shoot him up, blow up.
Yeah. Well, the other part that I did like about it too is when from what how you just set it up, even though you went to the older ones, Martin's character shouldn't be like this in this movie, but it is because they explained it from what happens to him at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
You know, they made it right. They basically they switched the problems of each character in a way that's believable. I still think like we're giving spoilers, so I hope you guys are aware that we always spoil.
Well, we're a week late to this, so I don't know.
But because people don't always get to see it right away.
Well, hurry the up.
But I think he takes the shot. I think he closes his eyes and takes the shot. But when he's having one of his panic attacks,
right?
Anyway, besides that though. I got to say this before we get into it because we talked about this a little bit on the way home. This is not about the movie, but it's about the movie.
Well, before you get to that
point, you want to wait? Hold it.
No, yeah, because I just want to add
go ahead.
with this. And I got to say, man, I went. One of my first notes was, it's weird because people kept questioning, yo, what's wrong with Martin? People are saying he had a stroke because when you look at him in interviews, the speech is a little slurred. The mouth moves a little different. And I remember I saw one clip where I guess he was on Ebro. And he goes, rumor going around that I had a stroke. Marty Ma is okay, man. That's just a rumor. But when you read the comments, everybody's going, he's saying he's okay. But you could tell the gleam in his eye and the way he's moving, something is off. But as I'm watching the movie, I'm going, other than obvious weight gain, it seemed like he's okay. Now, granted, when you look at the first one, when you look at the first Bad Boys, you can't help but notice how slim Martin was. And he did seem to have more of a pep in his step, a quickness to him, a little bit more vibrant in the eye. And of course, Will has always been Will. His character, Mike Lowry, is this sexy, strong woman getter. He's the cool guy, where Martin is the family man. But in the first one, Martin did move more. He was more spry. So I don't know if this is just a great coincidence or maybe smart writing. But they it felt to me, they played into that a little bit.
Well,
like if something is wrong with him, let him he has a heart attack in this. But he comes back from it. This new profound, monk-like, I have a Zen inner peace and motivation towards what life is. So I don't know if it's just, hey man, let's take what really might be going on with Martin and put this in the script, which I think is a smart, genius move, or was it all just a coincidence? Because to me, his character is so vastly different. His energy, his attitude from what he was in the first one.
Yeah.
He's totally different. And that's a good thing because like in life, people evolve.
Well,
whereas Mike Lowry is fighting it a little bit because when the doctor goes, hey, you had a panic attack. I don't have panic attacks. I'm Mike Lowry. I'm too cool for a panic attack. But that's what he had.
And the underlying thread still there that everything he loves gets taken away, and he doesn't want that to happen again. But they didn't rely on that throughout this. They didn't lean on that. I mean, they did. Right. It was part of the story, but it wasn't like, oh, this is what it's all about. Like you said, they show his weaknesses, flaws. I actually really liked this one. I thought it was good.
It was very entertaining, man. Now, what were you gonna say?
I said to you when we were walking by, no matter what though, as much as I like this, as much as I would have put this, want to put it in number one. There's moments when I'm watching it, man, and I still can't help but see Will as the assaulter of Chris Rock. And I know that makes, he's playing, he's a character. It's a completely different guy. But there's some moments when he makes his face, and he's angry. I'm like, damn, man. And listen, I don't hold, I'm not, this is not a judgment. I want to make sure that people understand that I'm not judging him. If there's anything that could make you do something out of character,
right?
It's a woman.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. And I shouldn't say it's a woman. It's a relationship. It could take you to the edge. And you saw that it did. All that being said, sometimes it might be that phone. It's not that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's gone now.
Is it? Okay, maybe it is. There it is.
Yeah. What do you think it might be?
The phone. I'll move it in a
What
second.
phone? Your phone?
No, this phone.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh, I didn't even see that there.
Yeah, because I tried to. See if we do that. Does that do anything? Same better?
A little bit.
Yeah. It's just something that bothers us. You guys don't hear it, but it's a noise inside our headphones that just is so irritating. Okay, so getting back to what we just said, it's not judging him, and like I said, anything, but it's just you can't help it because it just pops in my head sometimes when I'm watching him up there.
Two things before I get to that. You know, it's funny when you mentioned that there's the scene where once they're basically accusing, and I think his name, the real actor's name was Joe Palatino. He played fucking who's the Ralph Cifaretto on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Ralph, I know you cooked that fish. Once they try to make it seem like he was responsible for corruption in the force, the head FBI agent is like, you know, this guy's corrupt. He's up, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Will and Martin, who in a way are like sons to him, to the captain. And, you know, obviously he got killed in the third one. Will takes offense to this dude saying this. So Will gets up in the guy's face.
Runs up.
Yeah. And he says to him, one more time, accuse him of, you got one more time. And there was a break of a small open window of silence as they show this tense standoff. I wanted to yell in the theater so bad, keep the captain's name out your mouth. Which I believe I know would have got a big laugh, but I didn't do it. But going back to what I'm saying, you know, Stephen A. Smith caught some flack. And a lot of people were going in the comments, hey, Stephen, just say you want the interview, nigga. Say you want the interview without saying you want the interview. But what Stephen A. was alluding to was, you know, man, it's kind of hard for me to watch you in these movies because of what you did to Chris Rock. Now, I think it's your job to make amends with the community by sitting down and manning up and talking about this. And it felt like it felt like a cheap way of him saying, Will, you need to sit down with me so for this major Barbara Walters type interview so we can clear the air. And you know, the arrogance of it was some people going, first of all, Stephen, who the f are you that Will thinks he needs to have you talk to him to decide how we feel about him? And other comments were like, whoever thinks that we still think about that shit, please, we done forgot about that Chris Rock. And, you know, like in sports, they say winning cures all ails.
Yeah.
The moment you're successful again, the moment you put out a hit, all that shit goes away. And even as I'm watching it and I'm seeing Will do the action scenes and the emotional moments and him, like, again, what his character is going through and having to overcome that, I forget it, nigga. You know, I'm not thinking about the slap because I'm caught up in you being reminded how great this is.
But you did want to yell that out in the movie.
That's the comedian in me.
But again, it's in there. It's in there. I don't care what people say. You could say, yeah, I don't see him that way. There's moments, though. I didn't say it the whole movie. I'm watching this going, hey, that's Chris Rock. I said, there's just the moments when I see these moments and that pops up in my head. And like I said, it's not that I'm holding this. I'm not like, who am I to hold this over him? But I will tell you, I do again think what you said, comedian, but not because I want to make the joke about it. It's because it's Chris Rock. And like Tony Rock, I know Tony.
It's like that's our community.
Community. That's my brother. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, and he went out of his way to him up for no reason in front of everybody. So it's still, the resentment.
It's a little personal.
Yeah, it's a little personal.
Right.
It wasn't, listen, if he would have hit Tony, we could have let what happened happen after that. But he hit Chris. You know what Chris isn't Tony.
Well, he isn't Tony from the standpoint. I don't think Tony would allow himself to be hit and that moment.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It wasn't that
Right.
he picked someone that was on his size level. Someone.
Well, Tony's not on his size level.
No, but Tony wouldn't let that happen. Chris is slight. Let's be honest. Chris is slight. Chris is going to come at you.
Well, let's be technical here. Tony alludes to he couldn't do that to me, but in that moment, you don't know what Tony would have done. Because again, the gravity of the moment, the Oscars, 30 million viewers, black production for the first time. There was so many things involved in that moment.
Okay, we can say we don't know what Tony. He didn't go after someone that presented that challenge to him. Let's put it that way.
I can guarantee you, if that was Charlie Murphy, it's no way we'll do that.
Okay, so that's all I mean by it, and I just can't help but see that. And it's I respect and love the Rocks. I'll throw Jordan in there too. They're all comics. They're all working. They're part of this crew. Like I said, so that was the only thing that sometimes popped in there. That's not a judgment. I'm not holding it against him. I just can't help for that to happen sometimes. And I think if you're honest, it pops into your head. You can't help it. I didn't say you watch the whole movie going, that's the guy who slapped Chris Rock. I'm saying there's moments where you go, damn, why did he slap Chris Rock?
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, I hear what you're saying as far as the connection of that's like our brother in arms in the comic community. But damn, boy, when something is so good and so entertaining and so fun, and it checked all the boxes in terms of man food criteria, I hate to say it, but you either forget or you forgive or you do both.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of, when you said how the writing and kind of leaned into maybe something with Martin and it leans in, but it also leans into something for Will because you didn't make him the aggressive one in this one. You made him step back a little bit because he has the flaw. He has the he has the panic attacks. Right. He can't be the guy that's like the.
He was when
Martin made him that way. That's one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Yeah, when he slaps the out of it and tells him like snap out of it,
and he's slapping him, and again
like several times,
and you're watching him get slapped, and that doesn't go back there at all to you.
It didn't for me, but now that you say it, yes.
Okay, so that's all I mean. That's all I mean by this.
Yes. Something I wanted to say. Shit. Yeah,
I think there's more clues into this to me, but I'm probably putting them in there. Even the idea that we go have other lives, and Martin's talking to him about like he was his donkey at one. Yeah. He had to apologize for making mistakes. There's a lot to this movie that I think
let
is
me tell you something, man. And I said this, man. I don't know if you saw my latest post where I posted a clip when I did the Torre interview, and I had talked about, and what I've always said on this podcast, I respect the brilliance of Chris Rock. I get his genius. Just comedically, he don't tickle my funny bone. And of course, so many people like, nigga, I agree, I understand. And I put in my caption, now this is my opinion, but opinion has become the new hate. P.S. I gave the man his flowers. And a lot of people went, dude, you broke that down nicely. And no, you're not hating. And yes, you're allowed to have that opinion because I feel this way about this comic for this reason. But I said, and I've always said this, I love Martin in movies, dude. Like his stand-up don't do it for me. At times it feels vulgar just to be vulgar and a little juvenile. The Martin Show, I know it's blasphemous because it was a staple in the black community. Didn't do it for me. Martin in movies pops like a dude, whether it's, I could go all the way back to the beginning. I think his first movie, Do the Right Thing, when they was trying to boycott Sal's. Boycott Sal's, man, you crazy? Good little piece of this. Bilal, House Party.
House Party.
Black Knight, when the king said, I want to learn more about your people. And Martin said, you want to learn more about my people, you start moving the dog from the motherfucking table. And Roscoe Jenkins, when he said to Michael Clark Duncan, when he goes, I wouldn't let Hollywood and show business and fame raise your kids. And Martin said, well, I wouldn't let chitlins and cheese sticks raise yours. And when Michael Clark Duncan started to approach him, Martin went, what's up, Hope? Why are you approaching me? And Martin has some of the best reactionary, like Vince Vaughn. I love Vince Vaughn because Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman, They not only know how to initiate the comedy, they know how to react to it. And their reactions to me are just as funny as their initiations. And Martin is one of the best reactors. Some of the shit he does in movies, and Roscoe Jenkins, when he's about to fight Monique, and she's getting out of the car, he go, girl, if you don't get your butterfinger eating ass back in the car. Dude, in this, when they showed the scene with Reggie killing the intruders, and he goes, chitty, chitty, bang, bang, motherfucker, my snacks is your snacks. I swear to God, I could watch Martin in movies all day.
But that's also because Martin, at the beginning of his career, when he had less lines, he stole every single
He
scene.
steals that's what I mean. He's a scene stealer, and he pops. He pops on film. Stand up and the show just didn't do it for me. But in movies, man, I watch Martin all day.
Well, see, I don't feel bad about how you said that, and I did see the clip. I feel the same way about Carlin. Now, I do think Carlin's funny. I laughed at some Carlin stuff, but he doesn't get me the same way other comedians do. And that doesn't mean anything. I know he's a genius. I know he's on the top of the totem pole of comedy. For whatever reason, it just doesn't always hit me the same as it hits other people. I don't know why. I have a reason why I think it is, but that's not even important. But I understand when you can recognize the genius of someone's joke. You saw the writing, you see it put together, and it gets you, like, you might laugh, you know why it's funny, but it ain't going to make you just roll out.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I think you did explain it well.
And something else, in talking about again, Martin Poppet. That's that final scene on the beach with the standoff with Will and the bad guy. The bad guy has a gun to his wife, and Martin is there, and he goes, one of them has to die. You have to pick one. And this is why, and let me give a hats off. This is why writing is just as pivotal as the performers. Because the way they wrap that around, how Martin sets it up, and it's like a good stand-up joke, set up punchline. How Martin says to him when he has the revelation, before he starts moonwalking in the streets, yo, Mike, I can't die. And then just before the dude tells Will, you have a choice. I'm either kill your wife or kill your partner. One of them got to die. You got to decide. And Will goes, well, here's the thing about that, so-and-so. One of them can't die. To Martin, and he goes, who the motherfucker you talking about? Man, the in theater. And what I'm getting to is, number one, that is such great writing to bring it back, to call back
all the way,
all the way, and it's especially in that moment filled with tension, and it's just some cool when you layer it with the writing, the performance. Then he shoots the dude, pop, 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 and then the last shot is the shot to the middle of the forehead. So you got the writing, you got the performance, you got the action. It's like a well put together lasagna. Everything is layered just right. And it brings me to this. And this is why I go, when it comes to cursing, I think Black people, we have a special flair when it comes to language. It's like with anything else we do in terms of setting trends, whether it's fashion, whether it's dialogue, whether it's the way we move physically with sports, how we put a little wibble wobble in our There is, and I said this with stand-up, there is an art to cursing. And I've said before, when I hear Richard, when I hear Eddie, Chris, Dave, Eddie Griffin, when they curse, I don't hear profanity, I hear poetry. There's a way to deliver those words at a certain time with timing and context where it, like a good music note, it tickles your eardrum the right way where you feel it. And when Martin said, with that timing and that context, who are you talking about? That's not vulgarity to me. It made that scene pop. Whereas, again, God bless her, Monique. Baby, I told that baby. I don't know, that's not poetry.
Because that's a run-on sentence with nothing but run-on
no substance,
words.
No substance, no joke. That's just effect to be effective.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on. I'm not going to disagree with you, and I wish that if that was once or twice in the set, it would hit so hard.
Right, it could be multiple times in the set, depending on how and when it's used.
Okay, yes.
Richard Pryor, again, the Exorcist joke. Well, bitch, take the cross out. That's something a priest would say. That's what made that funny. Well, first of all, a priest wouldn't talk like that. But come on, man. It's Richard Pryor. Picture Richard as that priest. That's what Richard would say, which is what would make that hilarious. You see some demonic little child vomiting and head spinning and looking crazy. And his solution is, well, bitch, take the crops out your pussy. That's something a slick street would deliver just like that. And you don't hear him as though it's funny. It's Richard. It's delivered with that pizzazz.
It's what full-size Al Sharpton might have said back in the day.
Yes. Yes. Fat Sharpton. Yes. Well, bitch, take the cross out your pussy. Just like Eddie Murphy in Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
When he plays that preacher.
Yeah.
And he walks into the church, but because he's the vampire, the smoke starts coming and he goes, God damn! And the church, of course, that's funny again, because that moment, the context, Eddie being Eddie, and the rhythm and how black people, God damn! And then when he finally does his speech at the end, he goes, evil is good. Ass is good. Now, if you get yourself a piece of evil ass, whoa! But like, come on, man. If done right, that is beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And Martin is a master at that. Mike Epps is great at that on camera. He knows how to make a scene pop. Kevin Hart is great at that. I'm telling you that just because you're great on that mic, on that stage, does not automatically translate to film. There are some dudes who can rock the stage, but that film is another beast. And I'm telling you, man, Mike, Martin, and Kevin is dope. Know how to pop, man. You know? And to be honest with you, I like Monique in movies. She knows how to pop in certain scenes. But the stand-up, there's too much of that. I told that, you better, baby. Come on, man.
But she's a performer on stage, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but overall, when I watched her set, I thought she was great. Now, I understand exactly what you're saying. But I'm not there. I wasn't there to critique her. I just watched her set and I thought it was good. You're on another level of comedy. You can critique her all you want, but I thought it was good. I do see that you could reduce that or put it in places that would pop better than and left it alone in others. But that's not in my wheelhouse for me to say.
Dude, I got to tell you, I hated to see him get killed. Because I liked seeing even though his role was small, he was in all the Bad Boy movies. And then, damn, they took him out hard. John Sally.
Yeah. Did you like that? Now, I wasn't sure if I liked the camera experimentation they were doing.
But they weren't experimenting. They've done that in all of them.
But it's still like, I call it an experiment because that's not done in every movie. That visual, he's looking down, you're looking up.
But you know that's done for comedic purposes.
Yeah, I know.
It's a funny visual.
But do you like it?
I'm not mad at it.
Okay, I don't know if I like
Especially, again, let me go back to Martin and the brilliance of Martin and the language. In the first one, remember, John Sally is in the police uniform and his hands are cuffed, but he's helping him out by looking some up on a computer because he's a hacker. That's what he does. And at one point, Martin is talking slick to him, and John, like his character Fletch, has had enough. So he stands up. And this is the first time we see that camera angle. And he said, hey, I'm doing a favor for you. And as his hands are cuffed, he's pointing to Martin with his two fingers. Then they cut to Martin's position. And, Martin's, listen, it's all of this, people, comedically is important, the details. Martin has certain features. He's got beady eyes. He's got a pointy nose. His ears come out like that. So when you shoot that angle and he's looking up, and the camera is like a fishbowl, it's that close. You accentuate the goofy features, which makes it funny. Then when Martin delivers a line, he goes, man, if you don't sit your Nike ass down, I'm gonna bust your ass. So now you got the funny delivery, you got the funny line, you got the funny visual. Put it all together. That moment, I fell in love with that moment from then on. That's why I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I didn't see it as, I guess it had continuity throughout the series, but it just didn't. I wasn't sure I liked it.
I totally got it.
Yeah.
And I meant to say this, and I've said this before. John Sally, for an athlete, is the most natural actor I've ever seen.
Okay.
Most athletes are terrible actors.
And he's a funny guy.
And he's a funny guy.
So now he takes Charles Barkley's place. What would you watch him?
I still give it to Chuck because Chuck says things that are unintentionally funny.
Yes, but
so when he intends to be funny, it's funny. But then, and I say this with the most love and respect, but when he's stupid, sometimes it is so unintentionally funny.
come on, guys.
Come on, man. Like the one time he was reading the prompter, and he goes, some, and somebody wrote in the prompter, "I'm a dumbass," and he read it as though it was meant to be part of the diet. He goes, and everybody, and watch this Tuesday night at 9:00 because I'm a dumbass. And then he got it a second later that it was a joke. Like, come on, man. You can't. You know what I mean?
That's from Anchorman, though. They did that in Anchorman.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
And there was another moment, and I'm about to fuck this up, where it was, one of the greatest Shaq Chuck moments. I think the movie was called The Alienist or something like that, a TV show or something. And they had Shaq read the prompter, and it was pretty flawless. And when he finished, the people in the studio applauded. And Charles goes, "Why are you applauding him for being able to read?" And then Shaq goes, "Well, you try it, Chuck. You do it." And sure as shit, you knew it was coming, and it didn't take long. Charles tried to read the same copy. And again, if the word was alienist, he went, "And this Thursday night, watch the Alias." And everybody lost it. Kenny Smith and Shaq went, "That's that Auburn education." You don't get that with John Sally. No. John Sally's a good personality. He's fun. But Charles brings an extra je ne sais quoi on idiocy.
But yeah, I get that. But Sally's had never had the opportunity to sit there for an hour and just work.
You're right. You're right. I mean, listen, if he could even come close to Chuck, he'd win me over. But Chuck's a tough act to follow, bro.
But I think Sally and Shaq would be kind of funny. I think they'd be kind of funny.
Maybe because again, the element that's missing is Chuck would personally go after Shaq.
Yeah.
Man, I think that first thing I thought when I first met Shaq, boy, he ugly. Sally ain't gonna do that.
No, but Sally also has rings, so Chuck can't. I mean, Shaq can't go after her for the ring, so they have to go somewhere else. And I think that could be a stretch. That could be a stretch too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be scared to bank on that because Charles is not afraid to embarrass himself or be embarrassed.
And that's what's funny because he can go further than anyone else.
Exactly. John Sally may because I'm not saying John wouldn't be willing to, but there's nothing that you could stab Sally with like you could Barkley. So John Sally ain't gonna go, "I want to sit on the monster."
No. John
Sally ain't gonna go, when a guy is banging you, there's too many alley-oops between Shaq and Chuck. John Sally ain't gonna go, "Man, them big old women in San Antonio, Virginia, Victoria ain't a secret down there." He ain't gonna go, they be double fisting them churros. And have Shaq instigate and go, "What they do, Chuck? What they do, Chuck?" And then Ernie is like the adult teacher in the room going, "Man, stop egging them on." that great moment when what's my man's name? White from the Boston Celtics. He got his hair cut off bald now.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but he had the hair where the hairline was back here. And him and Chuck just start roasting this. And
you almost couldn't even understand them. They were laughing.
They were laughing so hard. And their laughter brought you in.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want to laugh, you were like, "Man, these two are stupid." And he goes, Kenny goes, "You know what's crazy?" And then Chuck goes, "Yeah, he called it like that." and he said, "Well, I guess Shaq, I guess we get to see White and that forehead in the Eastern Conference Final." Like, dude, come on. Where do you get that?
I know.
That moment where Anthony Davis was lightly brushed on the shoulder during the game and he crumbled to the ground. And as they're coming out of the clip, you just hear the crumpling of papers. And it's Shaq crumpling papers. And him and Barkley are laughing hysterically. And then Ernie goes, "What are you guys laughing at?" And Chuck goes, "Shaq crumpling papers." It's just crumbling papers. And then Kenny Smith did something, and he goes, Chuck imitates Kenny. He goes, Kenny, why are you fixing? He goes, I'm just fixing my seat. Yeah, but why are you fixing it like this? It's insinuating Anthony Davis is in a wheelchair. Come on, man.
I know.
Where do you get that from?
Don't.
With anybody else?
I don't know, but someone has to come in. Anyway,
I know.
We went so
yeah. Okay.
We should have made it about the TNT thing because this is funny. The movie's great, but that TNT shit is real.
I've said all that to say, man, John Sally, man, and I think I said this before, the only other athlete that I've seen that's really natural in that way is Rick Fox.
Rick Fox is everything he did, he seemed like he was an actor. He didn't seem like he was a basketball player being an actor. Right. He seemed like he was an actor.
Right.
I hate Rick Fox too, though.
Why? Because he's so pretty?
Yeah, man.
You really hate the pretty. Ryan Reynolds, Rick Fox.
Do you have to have everything? Do you have to have everything?
Well, maybe they have flaws in ways we don't know.
Send them out. Let us know.
What's your flaw, pretty Ricky? What's your flaw, Ryan Reynolds? Dude, it's funny when the movie started and they show the opening credits of the people in the movie. It says, Tiffany Haddish. I went, and then like 30 minutes of the movie is playing, and I'm going, when they gonna show Tiffany? And when they do the scene where he goes, I think her name in there, I know it wasn't Tabitha. I can't remember what her name was, but it was something. It wasn't Tabitha, because the lady in the show this weekend, name was Tabitha. But whatever the character's name was, when he said the character's name and then goes, yeah, we gotta find her at the strip club, I went, here come Tiffany. Because and sure enough, Tiffany's character was a ghetto, vulgar, eat my, but I'm listen.
She delivered well.
I'm the advocate for, I'm glad she got that. Because I told you when we left the theater and we were walking back to the hotel, the moment I saw her name, I went, oh, there's still a shot for me, maybe.
There's still a chance.
There's still hope, baby. Because if she ain't all the way canceled, then maybe the window of opportunity is still open for her. Is it Tabitha?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She did.
I went, yes.
She delivered well, but honestly, I'm just going to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy for her, and I'm glad she got the part. And I thought the part, it fits a little the ratchety characters that she's played.
Yeah. And a lot of people complained about that. Like, why did she always got to play that?
But I felt this was like that. Let's back in slow. Come back slow.
Right.
Because I also noticed that I think that she's funnier than she was in that scene. And I think that
they cut it.
No, I don't even know if they cut it, but I think they kept her like, do the scene, do it how it's written.
Right.
Let's keep it simple.
Right.
Let's be a success.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a bad scene at all. She was funny in it.
Yeah.
I just think that she's funnier than that. She has that other gear.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and so that's all I was saying.
So they're moving with her cautiously.
I think that I think maybe her people said just deliver,
right.
Be good. Don't go for the Academy Award on this one. Wait up and take it and we'll go to the next one.
I love what they did with the Reggie character.
Yeah,
because the Reggie character was introduced in the second one, but he was in the second one, the third one, and this one, and they always kind of played him very few words, very obedient to Martin and Will. And what an arc when the bad guys come to try to kill Martin's family, and because he's in the Marines, this John Wicked everybody.
Took out 15 of them. And then what was so great was at the ending scene when Martin and Will are arguing about who's going to man the grill, and the way they got the shot, it's a 3-shot. It's Martin's on one side, left, Will's on the right, and Reggie's in the middle. Profile, and then
dead center.
First, yeah.
And at one point, Will goes, "Hey man, you gonna handle this? What? What you gonna do?" And this again, cursing. Martin, scene pop. Martin goes, "I'm gonna let that motherfucker make the chicken. He killed 15 people." I can't say it enough, man. Martin knows what he's doing. And so then the great ending is when they both decide, yeah, the motherfucker killed 15 people. He done earned his stripes. Yeah, we better leave this alone. I'm going to go make the potato salad. Martin goes, I'm going to go set the table. and they leave, and Reggie just steps right in the frame, cracks a smile, boom, ending. Bad Boys. It was a fun movie, man. It was a fun movie.
It was definitely the guy's movie.
It's like I said about Rocky. As far as writing and performance, Rocky 1 is the better movie. Rocky 3 is the more entertaining. For me, Bad Boys 1 is the better movie. But this is entertainment. This is popcorn and soda all day.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So in the lexicon of buddy cop movies, I know there's more than one, but one of the top ones that right off the dome, Lethal Weapon, Martin and Riggs.
Yeah.
Then you got, I want to say 48 Hours, even though Eddie wasn't a cop, he was a convict, but it was still a buddy action movie.
Yeah, and he played a cop for a second.
Did he?
He plays a cop when he goes into the bar. He plays
but
new sheriff.
But I know, but it's still a buddy action movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so 48 Hours, Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy, Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Bad Boys, Will and Martin. I know there might be more, but those are the only ones I can think of. Do you know any buddy cop movies? Two dudes? I don't think you do because you're sitting with your legs crossed. No man sits with his legs crossed. I told that to that dude last night, second show. This nigga sitting there. I said, hey man, are you having a good time? Well, then uncross your legs with that moist posture and be ready to receive some comedy.
What did he say?
Oh, he uncrossed his legs and the audience lost it.
I don't know. I can't think of. I mean, I know there's other ones. There's definitely other ones.
I tell you what. Because I'm always faster at this. I think.
I looked at buddy cop movies. I'm looking for.
Just go buddy cop tandems. You have to be specific. Buddy cop tandems. Damn, something. No, I know now. I know this. We might as well this search. Somebody put Turner and Hooch.
Well, they're two cops.
A dog and a guy.
It's two cops though.
But here's another one. No. Here. Check it out. Even though, listen, if they only made one movie, can you consider it a real thing? Because they have here Tango and Cash.
Which was a great movie.
Which was a great action buddy movie. A little cheesy now when you look at it. And that was Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. They also have, a lot of these don't qualify. Men in Black, Agent J and Agent K. You know, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
But that's not a cop. How about, here's one. Rush Hour. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. But I'm looking too, like I pulled up a different one, but
yeah, a lot of those don't even qualify.
No, they don't.
All right, so let's go with that. Let's go with even though that
and Training Day.
The Last Boy Scout. No, Training Day is not a cop, it's not a buddy. They're not buddies.
They're not buddies, but it's still a good.
Nah, you can't count that. It's got to be a buddy. Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis and
but that was one. That's a one-off.
Yeah, let's just go with that because if you can't you got to have sequels. So which one between Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Eddie, Nick Nolte?
Mel Gibson and Danny Glover to me is and it's also because Joe Pesci's is in some of them. I thought they stayed original. There was one that was kind of bad.
I didn't think.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, it wasn't up to the standard.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
I don't even remember.
It can't
which
be
one.
the first two because
the first two were great.
The third one was. How many they made 4.
Right.
Yeah, the third one was the introduction of Chris Rock and. No, that wasn't the third one. The fourth one was the introduction of Chris Rock and Jet Li.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I don't remember the order. I don't remember how they went. I just think, to me,
Lethal Weapon 3. Dude, 4 to me was the weakest one.
And that's when they stopped making them.
That's when Mel Gibson didn't have the long hair anymore.
Yeah.
His hair was short. But the first 3 was bangers. Bangers.
Yeah, and I think that introduced that kind of comedy, buddy,
That's kind of always been a little bit of that more so in 3. Because Joe Pesci kind of he was the comedy in 2.
Yeah, which is the one where he's sitting on the toilet though, and the bomb's placed underneath the toilet. That's 2, isn't it? Or is that 1?
Yes, that's 2.
You know, it flies up and the toilet flies up.
Is it 2?
Lines on the lines.
You don't know none of this?
Yeah.
Oh, you are such a
But anyway,
homo.
there's always been a little bit of funny in it.
How you a man and don't know this?
He's younger. He's younger than us.
How old are you? How old are you? Oh, Jesus.
He's a baby.
Uncross your legs, nigga. All right. So
which one's yours? Which one's yours?
Of this?
Of those, yeah.
This might be the old head in me, but Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
We're old, dude. Let's just, you know what?
But I really enjoy Martin and Will.
Yeah, I do too. But let's stop apologizing for being old. We just have we have history. I'm
too old for this,
dude. Yeah,
Danny Glover.
We relate to Danny Glover more than we ever have.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one for me.
I'm gonna tell you the worst Lethal Weapon of all time. You ready?
Yeah.
If they do another one, because you know they're talking about doing one.
Are they really?
Dude, come on. I saw a picture of Danny Glover recently.
Beverly Hills Cop.
It's not a buddy movie. It's not a buddy.
They're friends at that point, and the two Taggart and what's her face are the buddies.
Judge Reinhold.
Yeah. It's loosely fits into our genre.
Loosely. Real loosely.
And then they become friends. It's loose, but it's in there.
Like big girl panties on a bony chick.
A thong on a bony chick.
No, some of them thongs be fitting them bony chicks.
No, they still look funny though when they're over. Yeah,
Right.
It looks like they're sagging. They're sagging.
That is such a disgusting look. So there it is, man. This is definitely worth the watch, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the watch.
If we didn't ruin the ends for you. Well, we didn't really even tell you what the end is. That's pretty good. We actually kept it.
kind of did. We swam around it a good deal.
Yeah, we did. But there's so much in there that we didn't take out.
Oh, Mike, the alligator's racist. Alligator's racist. Crocodile, I'm telling you, man, I love Martin in movies, man.
I know this is not going to come out well the way that I'm about to say this. But when that scene happened, the scene that Aries is talking about right now, and you know, we're talking about Martin having this spiritual connection now, almost otherworldly.
Yeah.
And when he's trying to tame that alligator, I would have loved if he would, if this is horrible. I'm just saying this is horrible. If the crocodile hunter,
Steve Irwin,
would have appeared because out of the other world, because obviously he's passed,
right?
And would have said, what's Martin's name again? What's his name?
Marcus.
Mike.
Yeah,
don't be afraid.
Oh, that's genius. Don't be afraid, mate. There's a stingray that got me.
I would have died if that would have if they could have worked that in.
Right.
But I mean, they would never do it because people would find it disrespectful. But as a comic man, there's no way that I don't find that funny.
Yeah, that is funny. That's a Family Guy moment.
Yeah,
that's something you might see on Family Guy as a cutaway. Oh, that's funny. That's right.
That's a show.
That's a show.
You want me to give out some dates?
Yeah, give out some dates.
Let me grab this real quick. I'm actually know where I put it. Get there real quick. There we go. All right, guys, you're listening to this. Where are we? We're at Cap. You heard us. We're in Cap City, but next week, Aries is going to be all by himself lonesome.
Georgia.
Albany Municipal Auditorium. I'm going to be. This is the last. Listen to my voice. Tell me if it changes after this week.
Oh, this is the ball and chain shit.
This is my last week as a single man.
Married, right?
Married. I'll be next pod. Well, no, not next podcast because we're gonna knock these out this week. So, but this is my last.
But the next time I see you,
next time we see each other,
officially have your snipped.
Yeah, they're in the jar. I can hold the jar.
Hold the jar with your own balls in it. Man, place dead paws upon me, Queen.
Helium Comedy Club after that. Well, this is where we're going to be. This is where we meet up next. Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis. We're going to be there June 27th through the 30th. June 5th through the 6th, we're going to be at the Funny Bone in Omaha. July 11th through the 14th, we're going to be at the Improv at the Spectrum Center in Irvine, California. Followed by June 18th through the 20th, we're going to be at Cobb's Comedy Club back in San Francisco. August 1st through the 3rd, we're going to be at Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club. That's in San Antonio, Texas. August 8th through the 10th, we're at Mic Drop Comedy Club, and that is in San Diego. August 22nd to the 23rd, we're at Stand Up Live back in Phoenix. Then we're going to go down to my hometown at the Rialto Theater in Tucson, Arizona. August 24th, we'll be there. August 30th through September 1st, we're going to be back in Houston. Man, looking forward to getting back out to see you guys in Houston. Texas has been a nice run, man. Everything's been great out in Texas lately, but Houston, miss you guys. September 7th to the 24th, we're going to be at the Complex. That is in Salt Lake City, Utah. One night only. September 13th to the 14th, we're going to be the Hartford Funny Bone. In Hartford, September 20th to the 21st, we're going to be at the Improv in Kansas City. And that is my birthday. So if you guys want to come out.
When is that?
The 21st
of September?
Yes. If you want to come out, celebrate my birthday with me, I might actually drink that week.
Get the out of here.
I might actually have some drinks, man.
No, I'm serious. It's a very important piece. All right, I think that's it, right?
That's a show.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this, it was hosted by Aries Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit SpearsburgPod.com.